Good morning and Happy New Year, everybody. It's me and Lucky, and we have made it to 2020. Hi, Juan. Hi, Isadora. Hi, Liz. Good morning and Happy New Year. It's a big week, everybody. Lucky wanted to say hi real quick before he goes and takes his little spot on his pillow. Wish you all a Happy New Year. Okay, there he goes. Okay. Today is Theophania in my country, and my religion says that the skies are open for whatever we pray will be done. Oh, beautiful. Good morning, small wildflowers. Good morning, flamingo. It's a big week, everybody. Our long-awaited, we've been talking about Saturn and Pluto creeping towards each other for months now, and now they are exact. And we have a lunar eclipse this week, and it's hitting us in Cancer, and that's our home sector. So emotions can be very high. Good morning, Stephen Stanel. Good morning, Adil. Good morning, Allie. Good morning, hot retarded chick. Good morning, La Luna. Okay, so I hope everybody had a great new year. It was pretty good here. I pulled a couple numbers as usual. Good morning, Lucky Fortune. Good morning, Teresa. Good morning, It's Already True, and Kat. Okay, so I pulled the numbers 300 and 25. And I want to say that 300 was a bust. Nobody won. And then 25 was won by Frosty 21. Good morning, VK. Happy New Year. Good morning, Christine and Charu and Julia. Okay, so Frosty 21, he or she won last week, and you have 1 week to claim your half-hour free reading. And I want to offer you this, you guys, because Frosty 21, he or she put in a couple of numbers, but 25 was the very first number they put in. So for you guys that are new to my show, every Sunday we play a little game where you pick a number between 2 and 500, and you have an opportunity to win a half-hour free reading with me. You have to come back within a week and claim your prize. But other than that, that's the only real stipulation. Did I say good morning, Justine? Good morning, Lucky Fortune. Good morning, Shining Light. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about our totems this week. So we have our winner at 25. That number is now out of play, and 300 is out of play. Okay, so I was thinking about totems this week, and I was thinking about the year 2020, and I was thinking about the eclipse coming up. I was thinking about this. Now we're exact, and we're going to be, Pluto and Saturn are going to be exact for, a couple of weeks at least, and then they're going to slowly move off of each other. So we are in midstream, guys. Good morning, Ajinka. I can't know if I'm saying that right. Dawn, Roxana, Flamingo again, Isadora. Okay, all right, I'm going to stop saying hi now and get to the business. So the totem this week I was thinking about is a square. 2020 reduces down to a 4, which is the number of the foundation. We have so much energy calling forth our deepest truth, our deepest dreams, claiming our lives in ways like we never had before. So I felt like it was really strong totem to look at squares. They're all around us. If we walk through our days, and every time we paid attention to us seeing the shape of a square, it would connect with us to, what am I building my foundation on? How do I want my life to be moving forward? These eclipses, while they are, this particular eclipse is very emotional, being in Cancer at 20 degrees, which is a Scorpio degree. So that's very the Pluto energy. And it is opposing Pluto and Saturn and Mercury and the Sun. So I just kind of, eclipses are the trash. It's imperative. Well, I think what the eclipses are doing is illuminating the things that may not be, they're bringing up what we don't want anymore, what we're sick of. And that's the Pluto influence. So I want to offer you this, you guys, this week. The energies are going to be emotional. And there may be certain people like, it's opposing my 10th house authority, and there's a whole, Capricorn aspect to it. So that's rule structure, governments, bosses. And so I want to offer you this. There may be this week a very challenging dynamic with people that you have no influence over, like your boss or your parents or a government agency. And so be mindful if you can push anything off a little bit, and maybe do a task. Let's say you had to go to the DMV this week and renew your driver's license. If you could wait and give it a little stretch, give it a little, maybe I won't do this right now, because the energies will be obviously very challenging. So, and then I want to again go back to the idea of the square, that each thing that you're conscious about making your decision towards, each is building that foundation. It is creating that strong platform with which to move forward in this new decade and claiming ourselves again like we never have before. Okay. Good morning, Capricorn from Italy. Tiziano, I think that is. And I want to say Gemmy and Spilia. I'm not very good sometimes with names. Okay. All right, here we go. Ascending Aquarius, good morning to you as well. Oh, thank you so much. That's one of my favorite things that Spirit has ever said to me is, what are you pretending not to know? And this may be a week where that question comes up. And I want to offer us as a tribe and as a conscious tribe that is deliberate creators here, not to allow those unconscious people to pull us into that place where we behave from a reactionary place. So, you may run up against people who are pretending they don't know a lot, and this week may not be the week to poke at them and say, you know what, I think you're off the mark. Okay, so here we go, guys. We're going to start with our readings. We go backwards here. I'm just fluffing my hair a little bit. Okay, we start with Pisces and we work our way backwards. The number ranges between 2 and 500 to win a free half-hour reading with me. And again, you must come back the next week and claim it. So if we don't see Frosty21 in the next week sending me an email saying, hey, I won, you'll have lost it. And quite a few people did lose their readings. Okay. Good morning, Oil Painter. Well, that's interesting, Dawn. That's for me, the second house, while it does traditionally rule possessions and our things, I always think of it as also ruling our self-worth. And the eighth house is the opportunity for death and rebirth. So this eclipse could give you the opportunity to give rebirth to how you see yourself. I don't know that, yes, there are very challenging dynamics to it, but I want to say this: as conscious creators, I feel like we could potentially, veer past those people that will poke at us, or the people who will, or the situations that will create a reaction, and so we can be very powerful, and we can use this to move into the more higher vibrational dynamics of these planets, Saturn and Pluto. Okay. I will be putting all the information at the end on how to contact me. It'll be underneath in the normal places. Good morning, Goldie Girl. Good morning, Jay Belk. Kellen. Okay. Ashley Garcia. I think I got everybody else. MK, good morning. Yeah, I'm done with anyone poking me too. I want to say this too. I've had this whole transit going in my 10th house and opposing my 4th house. And it's so interesting because in the beginning of January 2019, I found myself entrenched in the government of my city because of this dynamic that was happening in my 4th house. And boy, let me tell you, you think you're making headway, and then you're ramming your head against a wall, and then you think you're making headway. And it wasn't until I completely disengaged and I said, you know what? I have to turn this situation over to Spirit. I cannot move this government to save my life. I cannot, and I was not standing in a place of being wrong about what I was trying to do. It was more about the red tape and the frustration of those things. So when I turned it over to Spirit, they did lots of interesting things to help balance the situation out that I could not have done. and neither could the government. So connect with spirit. If you find yourself in frustration, if you find yourself super emotional this week and feeling like, man, I just don't know. Is it ever going to flip? Is it ever going to turn around? Do your best to just sit in that and say thank you to spirit for giving you eyes to see things through a new lens. Okay. All right. I said I was going to start, and now I'm actually going to do it. Here we go. Pisces, Sun, Moon, Ascendants, and Stelliums. And my order is actually Ascendant, Moon, Stelliums, and then Sun. Because I feel like if you have a stellium, which is a cluster of 4 planets or more, some people say 3, but 4 definitively in one house, it's going to have a dramatic and powerful effect on you. Okay, here we go. Pisces. Our first angel is Vanessa. The second is Layla. The third is Athena. And the final is Yvonne. Thank Small Wildflowers, you're funny. Really, this time, we're really going to start the readings now. Honest, no lie. All right. Joining Vanessa is the Queen. Joining Layla is the Protection card. Joining Athena is the Dragon. And joining Yvonne is the Serpent. This is a beautiful spread. And it really has nothing, I got chills all over my place for my Pisces. This has nothing to do with your outside world. It has everything to do with your inside world. The Queen is really not about a feminine energy in the sense of a girl or a woman right now. It's about a receptive energy. The woman receives. And then we have Vanessa, who is asking you, how are you going to base your decisions? Are you going to base them on faith or fear? I feel like the demonstration of faith allows the Queen's energy to bring forth what it is that you are wanting to receive. I just said that, I was having this disruption in my 4th and 10th house. And as a result of it, it wasn't until I sat and let spirit take over so that I could receive the peace of mind. And my faith is what allowed me to feel healed by it. And when I say healed, it's like I have trusted spirit and so many times now. And when I actually surrender to it without micromanaging them, without sitting in an energy of, well, how will it happen? And will it happen? And when will it happen? And I'm about it. That's micromanaging, because I'm going to go in the final position for Pisces. We have Yvonne and we have the Serpent. I believe the Serpent is offering the shedding of a skin, the healing and knowledge that what the faith will bring through, what will be received, will then be synthesized as knowledge, and you will be more apt to trust your vulnerability. You'll be more apt to trust the vulnerable place that faith asks you to stand. Okay, so in your opportunity and or your obstacle is Layla and the Protection card. While you're waiting for this reception, while you're waiting to receive, take time to spend time in nature. Be conscious of the things that are coming towards you. It doesn't necessarily have to be animals. It could be a windy day. It could be something in the clouds, or a sort of a shape that you see, that only you would see as a result of the way you're perceiving something, like through a tree leaves, you see a heart or something, because you are being protected, Pisces, and not protected in a way that you're in physical harm. It's more about protecting your faith so that you can continue to be vulnerable to the biggest dreams that you have. Because in the angel's advice, Athena and the Dragon are similar energies. Athena is saying to lovingly assert yourself towards what you want, and there's the Dragon. It's the same energy from a different deck. So overall for Pisces, this is a time to utilize this this lunar eclipse, this conjunction, we are exact now. Both Pluto and Saturn are at 22 degrees. For me, this is really an offering of a rebirth. And if I'm honest with the deeper truth of what I believe, I will start to see evidence of that. For one of the things that's happened for this eclipse season for me, between Christmas and New Year's or the 10th of January, is, again, I talked a little bit about it last week, my physical body. I have really noticed as I ate during the holiday season that there were certain foods that make me felt literally poisoned, and they made my body feel so um, unpleasant that I really started to take grab hold of what I was putting in my mouth and starting to fuel it. And within a day or two, I felt a difference. So this is how this eclipse has affected me because I want my body to serve my bigger purpose as I move through life and I'm aging. So this is what I want to say for Pisces. As you are vulnerable to a deeper truth of whatever it is that you want, you are being offered an opportunity to see your faith start to manifest in the world. And it's going to be through your vulnerability and your willingness. You're going to shed a skin, which is going to take us back to the four, which is a new platform with which to move your life experience in the, I'm so choppy right now, in the lane that you want to be in. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. I think I wanted to catch a comment earlier. I saw somebody. Oh, there it is. Ascending Aquarius. I woke up crying today. I feel so much better after meditating and praying to the archangels. I want to offer you this too. When we pray, guys, it really is about, and you said it again. Thanks so much, Stacy. Thanks so much to my guides and my angels for comforting me during this moment and for illuminating the wisdom of this particular emotion. Because if we are feeling compromised in some way, whether we're melancholy or we are sad, there are seeds within that emotion that are letting you know what it is you want. So let's say you woke up and you were crying because you missed having a partner. Well, rather than focusing in on missing a partner, you have the opportunity to say, I'm really identifying that I want a partner. So I'm going to invite in spirit to show me and to start to bring in viable partner suitors. And my participation is to allow myself to follow those subtle inspirations that spirit gives me in order to make that connection. Okay. Tiziano, got to go back on my diet. Diet's a scary word, man. It's like it feels restrictive. And whenever we're in restriction, we're kind of teeing ourselves up for the opposite experience. So I would offer you this idea. Rather than saying I'm going to go back on a diet, just say I'm going to eat things that fuel my body, don't feed my body. Okay, let's go on to our Aquariuses. Welcome, everybody. Yes. Oh, Dan's Malin. You have a whole stellium. You have a lot of, well, I don't know if Chiron would be considered a stellium to most astrologers, but it would to me because it's the wounded healer. It's a very strong influence. So that's cool. So you have a lot of opportunities to step into your faith. Okay, here we go. Aquarius. Jeannie, if you are an Aries rising and astrology for 2020 is tough, Pisces astrology is great. Will Pisces soften effects of the Aries rising? Well, it's interesting because I have Aries rising. And I feel like, when you say that 2020 is tough, in some ways, you're almost projecting out because we just started day 5, right? So let's project that 2020 is going to be Aries in the form of the truth seeker, Aries that is willing to cut through the muck to see the truth of what they want and then take the action to move towards that truth. And that way, if you come into some challenges, they will make more sense or they will be easier to traverse because they're moving towards what it is that you actually want. Okay. Coming from a negative spot doesn't resonate with me. Okay. I don't know what you guys were talking about. I think I missed that. I see. Okay. All right. Let's go on to our Aquarius. Here we go. Welcome, Athens. Welcome, Cher Joan. Did I say good morning, MK? I hope I did. Radiance, welcome. Raluca, Laura, welcome. Ryan, welcome. All right, we're going on to our Aquarius rising, sun, moon, and stelliums. All right, here we go. Our first angel is Archangel Raphael. The second is Desiree. The third is Opal. And the final is Daniel. All right, Aquarius, let's see. Good morning, Sona. Good morning, Danny. All right. Joining Archangel Raphael for my Aquarius is the Fear card. Joining Desiree is Merlin. Joining Opal is the Focus card. And joining Daniel is the Disruption card. Well, that's so eclipsey, isn't it? Okay, Aquarius. This spread is a little bit challenging. I'm not going to say it isn't, but it offers a lot of wisdom attached to it. So here we have Archangel Raphael offering a healing, okay, and then we have the Fear card. I wanna bring it to you this way, Aquarius. Fear is an interesting dynamic because without fear, we would never know empowerment. Without fear, we wouldn't know exhilaration. Without fear, we wouldn't get an adrenaline rush. Without fear, our dreams would be dumbed down. So I feel like for Aquarius, Archangel Raphael is offering a reconciliation on how you view fear. And I want to say it this way because it's not about staving off fear. It's not about running towards your fears. It's about understanding how your fears are part of the human experience that provides the contrast that the human or the soul wants and why it comes into the human experience. And I say that, and I'm going to go to the final position and then I'll go back to the other two because we have Daniel, the angel of marriage, and then we have the disruption card. Daniel is not really talking about marriage right now. What I believe he's talking about is the story in partnerships that we bring into a new situation. So for Aquarius, rising, sun, moon, and stelliums, I believe that this week, what Spirit is saying is to allow this exact between Saturn and Pluto, to allow this lunar eclipse, which is a very emotional eclipse, to see what it is that you still fear in relationships. What is it that you are still holding on to that is disrupting either a current partnership or your ability to be in the partnership you want to be in? And I say it this way because in my opportunity and my obstacle is Merlin offering alchemy, balance, but this is through pressure. And it's also a card of justice and karma. And then we have Desiree. Desiree will say that conditions aren't favorable, but what I believe this is about is the stormy seas. This is a stormy week. So allowing yourself to sit back and to, because this is what I want to say. In the angel's advice is Opal and the focus card. I believe that this is about re-examining that from a childlike perspective, what it is that you want in relationships and what it is the adult fears in relationships. And then as a result of that sort of clarification or delineation, you can then to say to spirit, I want to use this eclipse energy to now transform that. And then I'm willing to walk through my fears and to see sometimes uh, I'm interrupting myself, but I'm going to do it. Sometimes we get into relationships and things are going really well, and we know that there's something about us that may be less, pleasant. Sometimes we'll push that part of ourselves forward because we want to see if this new person can handle the real you. And what I think this is about is not doing that from an unconscious place, but rather saying, I know this part of me exists, but is it so prevalent within my character that I need to make sure this person can handle it? I don't know. I'm thinking there's a vulnerability for Aquarius here. There's a getting out of my head a little bit and into a deeper part of my heart, and then allowing myself to see how my fears can actually empower me versus tanking me. And also thinking sometimes, fear is a warning. You're going the wrong direction. So, all right, let's go on to our Capricorns. Oh, good morning, Ann Williams. I'm actually Teri Hunter, and I do a live show every Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Pacific on Lada's channel. So, welcome here. We do a little game, by the way. You have an opportunity to win a half hour free reading with me. Pick a number between 2 and 500 and leave it in the live chat or in the comments. And we pull a number. And if you win, you've got to come back in a week and let us know. And then you get to have a free reading. Okay. All right. Yes, it's great to see you here, Oil Painter. You haven't been in live in a long time. Welcome back. Hey, JP, welcome back. Good morning. Happy New Year. And Oe Mama, I can't say that. Oe Mema, I didn't say that right at all. Good morning. Prometheus, good morning. Stacy, good morning. Well, you know, Stacy, if you decided to shave your head on Friday, it was some sort of cleansing, and on some level, people may be startled by it, but they'll get used to it. And well, I think if you think you're attracting, I think I'm attracting the response with my fear. So are they not liking your hair or lack of hair, I should say? I think it's this way. It sounds like a cleansing to me, and I would just allow yourself, because sometimes people might think you're sick. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool that you did that, honestly. Okay. Here we go, guys. Good morning, Michelle. I said hi to Shelly. Anna, good morning. Okay, here we go. Capricorn. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Stelliums. Our first angel is Adriana. The second is Yvonne. The third is Isaiah. And the final is Shanti. Awesome. I'm glad it felt liberating. That's exactly what this energy is about. Okay. Adriana is being joined by the horse. Yvonne is being joined by the serpent. Isaiah is being joined by the letting go card. And Shanti is being joined by the high priestess. Well, this is interesting. So for my Capricorns, Adriana talks about leading you towards the answers to your prayers through your dreams, your thoughts, and those subtle intuitions that you get. And here is the horse. While I always think of the horse as an intuitive card, I also have come to think of it as blazing a new trail, and also the ability to make connections with new things, new places, whether they be, and I think of it sort of as foreign. And I don't want to say foreign as in you have to be in another country as much as it's foreign to you as an individual. So, Capricorn, I believe that what you've been calling forth for quite some time, while Saturn has been in your sign, its natural sign, you've been wanting to carve new trails for yourself, and spirit has been leading you there. And I want to say, because I'm going to go to the final position, that I believe that things are afoot. There is Shanti, the angel of peace, and here is the high priestess. Shanti will talk about, new tranquil roads ahead, but I also feel like that this really, I normally say it's about, the app moving whatever's disrupting the peace, but for Capricorn, I believe it's keeping your eye on the prize of what you want. I believe that we are seeing, sort of like we were seeing earlier with the Queen and the Faith, Vanessa saying faith, I think it's the same thing. It's where Capricorn starts to root themselves in their connection to spirit, which then gives them new experiences, which carves new and foreign ideas within their mind. Now we go here. This is our final position. Peace comes from that inner knowing. That inner knowing. And here in the angels, in the opportunity, the obstacle, we have the serpent and Yvonne. Yvonne is always a card of being vulnerable to the deeper truth of what I want that I have no evidence is actually going to happen. And the serpent offers me an ability to shed a skin and to start afresh. And for my Capricorns, the angel's advice is Isaiah saying that you're being protected as you embark on new and exciting adventures. And there's the letting go card. This letting go card is akin to Elsa going up the mountain in the first Frozen. It's funny how some distance makes everything look small, and the fears that once controlled me can't get to me at all. What does Capricorn, ruled by Saturn? What does Saturn rule? Fears. This is an opportunity for Capricorn to transform their fears and turn them into empowerment and turn them into their flip side, because that's what it is. Fear's flip side is exhilaration, is excitement, is empowerment. And I say it in a way, I think about, I went rock climbing, that kind of where you're um, hoisted into a harness and all of that. And it was one of the most palatable. I'm scared to death of heights. And when I did that, when I got to the top and I touched that thing, I could not have been more happy. Did I ever want to do it again? No, but it really was empowering. So this is what I want to say for my Capricorns. This is a pivotal time for you to have an opportunity to think and to take action in new ways, in ways that are foreign to you, in ways that are less rooted into brick and mortar. And in doing that, you're going to find that the things that you put into your mind become brick and mortar. Okay, going on to our Sagittariuses. Tebow, I would, if you're an Aquarius Pisces cusp, I would actually go to the Aries rising and I would watch that first, and that'll be our last one, and then allow yourself to go and see which one, Aquarius or Pisces, resonates with you more. It's really part of what I hope to I can't find the word, to help you guys understand, is that all of the astrology and all of these cards and all of the tools that we use to connect with spirit, they are not in a box. These are tools that you should allow your own, what resonates with you, to pull you that direction. That's how spirit gets through to you. So if you're listening to Aquarius and Aquarius is not really, does not resonating with you, then spirit's message may be coming through another dynamic within your chart. So you might listen to Pisces. Okay, here we go. All right. We are going on to our Sagittariuses. That's a very cute comment, Raimundo. Okay, guys, here we go. For our Sagittarius, the first angel is Bethany, the second is Crystal, the third is Oceana, and the final is Xana. Good morning, Jessica. Good morning, Max NC. All right. Joining Bethany is the serpent. That's 3 for 3, guys, or 3 for 4. 4 for 4. The eagle is joining Crystal. Oceana is joining the partnership card. And Xana is being joined by the dog. This is so interesting. Okay, Sagittarius. When I first saw Bethany is a card of self-love and self-care, taking care of your body. And then I have the serpent. Again, I want to offer this way. When I looked at this first, before I even pulled the second spread, these cards, I felt like this for Sagittarius is very much about self-care. And it's about self-care in a way that may not always be understood by others, but I feel like in order for you to feel your authentic self, you're going to have to little bit stand in this place of holding space for yourself, because there's a new skin being shed for my Sagittariuses, or there's new skin. There's an old skin being shed that gives new life. And in the opportunity, the obstacle is Crystal. Crystal says, have faith and hope. There's more on the horizon that you can't see. And there's the eagle. The eagle is connection to spirit. This is the hand of spirit of God watching over those my Sagittarius is right now as you take care of yourself, as you step into foreign ideas. What is the ninth house? What is Sagittarius? It's foreign ideas. And the foreign ideas are not about moving yourself to another place. It's about, what if I'm not doing everything that's always expected of me? What if I'm doing what I want for me? This is a really important week to with this eclipse, with Saturn being exact with Pluto, it's really deep. It's a deep look into what resonates at a soul level, Bethany, of self care. And to know that part of what you want to experience, Spirit has their hand on this. Spirit is moving things around because in the angel's advice, it's Oceana says to take action, to lovingly assert yourself. And there is the partnership card. This for me is in direct relation to Crystal. I'm making a partnership with Spirit so that they can start to bring forth to me what I'm looking for, which there's telling me for my Sagittarius is love. And I say it this way because the dog represents love, loyalty, and sincerity. And then we have Xana, the angel of protection. I feel like for Sagittarius, the deeper truth is that you do want to be in a relationship, that you do want to be able to emote in that relationship, to be able to be yourself in that relationship. And up until now, you may not have experienced it, but it is Spirit's hand guiding you right now. And your job is to be in partnership with them, which is to let them know what I love, what I don't love. There's certain people who, like to get up in the morning and go work out and start their day. I'm not one of those people. So if I couldn't be in a partnership with somebody who wants to jump up and go do stuff, I'd be like, oh no, I'm sleeping in a bit. So I want to find someone aligned to me. And then here is the dog and Xana. I want to say overall for my Sagittarius is that to use this lunar eclipse to declare to Spirit what it is you find most um, what you most want to experience in relationships and intimate relationships, how you want to be seen, and how you want to see the other person. Sort of using this week as a way to put your intention out there and from a really deep emotional place, because that's what this Cancer is going to ask of you, is to go to what do you want in the deepest parts of the home of your mind, the home of your emotions. What do you want to experience when you shut that door? And then I believe that Spirit's going to start to usher things in. A lot of people are talking about there's still a lot of challenging dynamics throughout 2020. I venture to say every year we'll be able to find challenging dynamics in one way or another. Our job is to, as humans, is to know when the challenge is so big that we've got to turn it over to Spirit, and then when it is our turn to pick up the baton as Spirit inspires us and nudges us towards our deeper truth. So Sagittarius, love is on the books. Now it's time to claim it. And when I say claim it, that's where you're telling Spirit what it is you want, shedding an old skin to allow for something new that you can't see, but that you intend and you put a strong intention for. Okay, let's go on to our Scorpios. Jessica, that's a beautiful comment. That is how I'm starting my new year. My word of the year is authentic, recovering from a heartbreak and letting the universe handle what will happen. I venture to say that if you look at the heartbreak a little bit deeper, you may find that there were certain things that you knew about that dynamic that you were hoping would shift that just didn't. And then as you allow yourself to say, you know what, I want to experience something richer. And then you can sort of make sense of what that heartbreak was. Thank you, Stacy. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. Hey, Saji, Alyssa, welcome for the first time. Okay, so my first timers, if you have not been here before, I offer every week an opportunity to win a half-hour free reading with me. We play a little game. You put a number between 2 and 500 in the chat or in the comments below. Chat supersedes the comments. And then you have to come back the next week to see if you're number one. So far, Frosty21 has not shown back up. And Frosty 21 won a half-hour free reading. So hopefully Frosty will show up. Okay, here we go. On to our Scorpios. Now I tend to think that, Capricorn and and Scorpio will be in some ways dramatically affected by, I say in some ways dramatically affected, yes, by this eclipse, because even though an eclipse in Cancer, it is in opposition to these two planets. So the transformation that they have been creeping towards each other, saying, are you going to do the work? Are you going to stop lying to yourself? Are you going to stop pretending you're happy when you're not? This eclipse is like, okay, they're taking no prisoners. So if you've surrendered to that, then the transformation can move forward. Okay. So I said Scorpio and Cancer Scorpio and Capricorn, because Saturn's involved and Pluto's involved. So just to be clear with that. Okay. So for my Scorpios, Isabella is here. Then we have Grace and Antoinette. We have Vanessa again. And then we have Oprah. Goldie Girl, Scorpio Moon, I would pay attention to that because that's your emotions. And it's going to be an emotional eclipse. So, I always advise, if there's certain people in your life that drive you crazy, don't poke the bear. Just sort of check out for a day or two. Okay, Isabella is being joined by the Risk card. Grace and Antoinette is being joined by the Deer. Vanessa is being joined by the Joy card. And Opal is being joined by the Novice. Well, that's interesting. Okay, so for my Scorpios, yes, the timing is right for this new venture. A happy outcome follows your positive expectation. And then here is the Risk card. It's funny to me because so often the human is in that mode of trying to make something happen, trying to find the relationship, trying to find the job. And then once it presents itself, the human doesn't always know what to do with it. They get a little like, what do I do? And I think that's what this is talking about. I think that there's opportunities coming. Frosty, you won. You're here. I didn't see you. You did. Congratulations. My information will be below after the broadcast. I'll put and you just email me. Sorry to everybody who I'm interrupting during the reading. Sorry. Anyway, all right, here we go. This is about risking, accepting that where you have sat, the transformation is here. It's time for the transformation. Invite it in, accept it in, because I'm going to the final position, Scorpio. There's Opal and there is the Novice. In this particular case, Opal is going to talk about my dreams. It's going to talk about what I want as a Scorpio to experience. And then the Novice is talking about unstable new beginnings. This is skill without practice. So yes, you are being offered a whole new chapter in your life. And while you're going about this, okay, because it's just the beginning, it's literally, you're just in the seedling stage. So this is about having patience and this is the Deer here is not about fear. It's about gentleness and diplomacy, because it's coupled with Grace and Antoinette, which is a card of compassion. And I want to say it this way, because in the Angel's Advice, we have the Faith and the Joy card. So overall, for Scorpio, I believe that this good thing is coming your way. It is time. And you may be just ever so slightly nervous, because it may have sort of a stuttered flow in the beginning. So it's not like green light, go. It's like red light, green light, red light, green light. Here you are. Have compassion for yourself. Remember to stand in the excitement and the joy and the faith of the situation, because what you want, Scorpio, is coming to you, and you will get an opportunity to start to practice it, whether it be love, whether it be an opportunity in a profession, or whether it be something to do with your physical body. It doesn't matter for me what the particular situation is. It's something that you've been calling forth. And now don't let Pluto get up your grill and drive you crazy and make you think, oh no, it's going to run away. It's going to be gone. Okay, here we go. I'm on to Libra. Yes. Oh, Goldie Girl, congratulations on the new job. Good morning, New York. Val, good to see you. Posted ups, welcome. Don't be nervous. Aries is a good thing. Okay, here we go. For our Libras. That's me, Libra Sun. And it's very funny with my Aries rising because being diplomatic is sometimes very challenging for me. Good morning, Sabrina. Okay, for our Libras, our first angel is Layla. The second is Crystal. The third is Daniel. And the final is Oceana. Stacey, I have to agree with you. I quite like an Aries energy. I'm not put off by their strength, I guess. I kind of get it. Okay. Layla is being joined by the Joy card. Crystal's being joined by the Novice. Daniel's been joined by the Wind Fairy. And Oceana's being joined by Merlin. All right, my Libras. So Layla is a card of to me, it's a walking meditation. It's spending time in nature so that spirit can give me signs and omens through the things I see. And then here is the joy card. I want to say this. I feel like, oh, thank you, Stephen. That was wonderful. I would love to accept. um, I want to say this for my Libras. I feel like, okay, so we're talking about how emotional this this eclipse is. We talk about how intense the exact nature is of Pluto and Saturn, and I feel like Spirit is asking Libra to express joy regardless of what your eyes are seeing right now. That there's to trust an inner knowing. Here in my opportunity or my obstacle is Crystal saying, have faith and hope. There's more on the horizon that you can't see. And here is the Novice. And this is again, new beginnings, unstable new beginnings, practicing things, having a skill, but yet not having practical application and just starting that. And I want to say this for my Libras because here's Daniel, the angel of marriage, and here's the wind fairy. I want to offer this. I believe that for my Libras that are single, myself included, that this is more about right now calling forth a partnership from a deeper place. And I want to say partnership this way. It may be an outside, and yes, I do think that's an element, but I also think for Libra, it's a partnership within themselves and the way they're thinking. And that's being scared and then having faith, scared and having faith. And that's where Crystal is saying, okay, continue to have your faith. And then every once in a while, your ego will say, I don't know, are you sure? You haven't had enough practice. You don't know, is it coming? And then we go back to Layla in the foundational position. Because yes, I do think it's about, for Libras, it's about relationships. I told you guys I'm 60 years old. I've never been married, and I would like to be. Now I'm ready to finally be in a relationship. And there's so many things out there in the world that will tell me that I've aged out of that stage of my life. I don't believe that's true. So for my Libras, it's about finding balance between the here and the there, what you have experienced and what you want to experience, and being somewhere in between. And as you do that, going to spirit and saying, this is, I really am excited about what's coming up. I'm really excited about what you're bringing in. I'm excited to accept the transformational dynamics that our astrological world and weather is offering us, because I'm going to stand in a truer place of myself. I may not have experienced it yet, but I know it's there. And I'm going to use my powers of discernment to stay on track, because in the final position, Oceana is saying to lovingly assert yourself. And then Merlin is here. Merlin is the great wizard, magical wizard, alchemy, justice, and balance. I believe that it is for my Libras right now, the things that you want to experience are karmically, dynamically on the on the everything that you have put in your plan for this lifetime is starting to open up, and your job is to stay on task as you begin this new road. Okay, I hope that was clear because some of you are married. Some of you Libras are going to be in relationships and you've been in relationships. But I want to say it this way. If you've been in a relationship for a long time, you probably have gotten used to a person being a certain way. And what I think this spread and what the angels are offering you, and maybe this eclipse and this dynamic, is a shift of that. Sometimes when couples have been together for a long time, they may have certain familiarity that bugs each other, but then there's also an appreciation that can come through. There is a me, and as we settle through the more prickly parts of that, we can go into a new phase of appreciation for the road we've been down together. Okay, I hope that made sense. Yeah. Okay, we'll move on. Okay. Manuela, you've been a widow for almost 10 years, and I have a good partner. Oh, you want to have a good partner if the Lord permits. I want to offer you this. The Lord, honestly, God, our angels, they really don't designate what we want to experience, they support it. So if you're ready to engage in a new relationship with somebody, I would suspect that your wife, your guides, your angels would support that. And it's time to open up. There's a movie from years ago with Richard Dreyfuss and Holly Hunter, and he was this um, firefighter, and he flew planes. And I wish I could remember. I think it's called Always. And he's some kind of little bit of a cocky pilot, he's like a little bit of a daredevil, and he ends up dying trying to, put out a fire. But in the movie, his ghost um, is finally ready to say, "I love Holly Hunter," and from the other side, he watches as she falls in love with somebody else, and there's lessons to learn. But those on the other side support the same thing. So I want to offer Manuela, if indeed you're looking to invite in a new love experience, I'm sure that all those on the other side would support it. So your intention now to say, yes, I want that, is the next step. Okay, let's go on to our Virgos. Here we go, Virgos. Oh, Sabrina, do you remember that movie? Awesome. I cried so hard during that movie. I think I actually went to the movie theater and I just cried. Okay. All right. Here we go for our Virgos. Our first angel is Xana. The second is Isaiah. The third is Seraphina. And the final is Bridget. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Joining Xana is the spider card. Joining Isaiah is the deer. Joining Seraphina is the wealth card. And joining Bridget is the partnership card. Okay. All right, Virgo. So Xana is a card of protection. Xana talks about all types of harm being behind you. This to me is really emotional harm. It is spiritual harm. It doesn't necessarily feel like physical harm. It's emotional, spiritual, the harms you cannot see. And then here's the spider. The spider will talk about creative projects on the face of the card, but for me, it's a relationship card. And the fly gets into the web and has a cooperative relationship. It doesn't come out of the web. I feel like this reading right now this week is for Virgos, and it's involving their partnerships or lack thereof of partnerships. Because if Xana is saying that you're being protected, I believe that you're being protected in relationships in many ways. And I want to say it this way, because as we're authentic to what our wants and our desires are, then we don't need to be protected from a relationship, because then we can step out if there is an energy that doesn't align. Because for Virgo, it is time to give birth to new ideas and new situations and to be gentle and diplomatic with yourself. If you've experienced challenging dynamics in relationships, and again, Mercury is involved in this eclipse, you guys. Um, it is right sitting next to the sun, and that's going to be in opposing the moon. So Mercury is going to be involved in communications, and the things that are ruled by Mercury are going to be involved in this eclipse, because the angels are offering a happy change to your family in the form of Seraphina and the harmonious wealth card. And in many ways, it's for Virgo to give birth to new ideas and to be diplomatic and gentle with yourself as you do that, because what is not working for us will look stable and secure sometimes. It will look safe when it really isn't safe. Just because somebody is giving you money doesn't mean that you're safe. Does not provide safety. Uh, Faith provides safety in some ways, because I'm going to go here with Virgo. I've got Bridget asking me to look deeper in my partnerships. And I'm wondering if on some level, Virgo is either staying in relationships because they feel safe, but they're not feeling loved, or they are, I feel somehow maybe there's just a dynamic that is off in your relationships. And I could say intimate relationships, but partnerships are not just about intimate relationships. They're about friendships, they're about family relationships, they're about professional. Everything we do in life is a relationship. So I feel like overall for Virgo this week, to know that you are being protected, that it's time to look for something that's more in alignment in your relationships, and to look deeper into whether you are staying somewhere because it's safe or because you actually want to be there. I want to kind of put it this way. People have jobs and they go to their jobs and they make an hourly wage, and many people don't like their jobs, but they stay in them because they pay the bills. And I feel like that's this big metaphor, because it's like the golden noose. Money's coming in, but then it's just this amount of money. And then you think about the entrepreneur who never knows where the money's coming, but they have an opportunity to make great money. So I feel like for Virgo, to know you're being protected by God and the angels, to open yourself up to a bigger dynamic, and to look deeper into what is your platform that you're stepping on. Because if you're trying to be safe, it may not be as safe as you think it is. It may supply security, but it may not be safe. Okay, here we go on to our Leos. Thank you, Raquel. Welcome, Jennifer. Welcome, Dawn. I think I said hi to you. Frosty 21, I love me my sleep. Oh, yes, I do. Jessica, that's interesting. I love what I do, but my employer. So this is where you can open up to spirit and say, I love what I do. Maybe we get to bring in a new dynamic that's more in aligned to me enjoying all the aspects of my work, my employer, my coworkers, the where I work, etc. I am going on to Leo, and we're working our way towards Aries. I go backwards on this show. Okay. For our Leos, we have Daniel as our first angel, then Seraphina, then Ray, and then Serena. Okay, here we go. Whoop. All right, who flew out? Joining Daniel is Merlin. Joining Seraphina is the dog. Joining Ray is the earth fairy. And joining Serena is the butterfly. Ooh, Leo, I got so many chills for this. This is very exciting. Now I want to say it this way. So, ooh, scary, scary eclipses. Ooh, scary, scary exact Pluto and Saturn. What if this is the reward? Leo, Daniel's the angel of marriage. Daniel says, um, he's helping you right now, bringing in a partner. Now, I want to say it this way because Daniel, the deeper message of Daniel is what is the history you're bringing into the relationship? And there's Merlin. Merlin talks about alchemy, balance, and justice. So, alchemy is that formula where I think of it sort of like the coal that goes into that pressurized situation and becomes a diamond. I feel like for Leo, there's an opportunity in your relationships. And again, if you are in a relationship, then it's about recalibrating that relationship. Or if you're single, it's about drawing in the relationship. Because as you look at your own particular history, what do I bring? What is my attitude? What is my disposition? What are my beliefs about this situation? And then I offer an opportunity for them to go through a transformation. Am I being fair in my assessment? Am I somehow, as again, Leo, rising sun, moon, and stelliums, am I projecting an old experience into this situation and thereby teeing up, creating a new one? Because I believe in the opportunity, the obstacle is the dog and Seraphina. There is an opportunity for new love to come in, for old love to be to be revived, to be revitalized. And it is through my willingness to connect with spirit, and the earth fairy is offering me an opportunity to create a new foundation. And I want to say it this way because in the final position is Seraphina and the butterfly. Okay, Seraphina is a card of abundance. It's a card of to me, it's a card of harmony. Look how serene she literally is. And then the butterfly is about transformation. So we go into the first position and the final position, we have opportunities for relationships to be transformed through a period of pressure. And that's what I think may have been going on for the last couple of years because we've been watching Saturn and Pluto creep towards each other. We've been seeing dynamics and people's relationships that were out of balance bubbling up and calling forth for balance. And so I feel like for my Leos, this is an opportunity for the relationships in your life, both intimate and otherwise, to have a recalibration in many ways. But part of it is as Leo gives permission for Leo to look at what your perceptions are as you have participated in these relationships. And as you give life to a new dynamic, let's say somebody's always late and it pisses you off. So rather than saying, okay, they're always late, I'm just going to be on time, what if you got ready 15 minutes later and it changes the dynamic? That's what I'm talking about. And that's where I feel like the transformation is coming. So for Leo, overall, I feel really good about this. I feel like we've been talking about Leo being more their authentic self throughout the last, few months. And then this is sort of feels like a culmination of having that play out within your relationships as well. Okay, let's go on to our Cancers. This is your eclipse, guys. And you rule emotions, you rule motherhood, and that rules the family. So, Shelley, congratulations. I hope you and your ex-husband do well together. Or in cooperation, I should say. Happy birthday. My name is Dee. This is going to be very important if your birthday is this week, this eclipse is going to have a very, very influential or impact on you there. Okay. Here we go. Cancer. Our first angel is Omega. The second is Athena. The third is Merlina. And the final is Vanessa. Okay. Cancer rising, Cancer moon, Cancer stelliums, and Cancer sun. All right. Omega is being joined by the water fairy. Athena's being joined by the hawk. Merlina's being joined by the wrist card. And Vanessa's being joined by the horse. This is very interesting. Okay. So for my Cancers, the Omega represents victory. She says, keep up the good work. And there we have the water fairy, which is about my feelings and my emotions. This this is a very emotional eclipse, but for my cancers, this is about your intuition. I think that this eclipse could be offering you an opportunity to actually take a step up into trusting your intuition even more than you ever have. And in doing so, strengthening your connection to spirit, making it more um, accurate. That's the word I want to use, because this is very powerful. This is a lunar eclipse week that's right on top of you. And in the final position is Vanessa saying, are you going to make your decisions based on faith or fear? What is faith? The ultimate intuition that everything's working out. And there's the horse offering new directions, offering movement in ways that is foreign to Cancer. And I want to say it this way, that movement doesn't feel like physical movement. It feels like intuitive movement. It feels like I'm starting to really trust my intuitions and then asking spirit to confirm them and then taking my actions based on that. Because in the opportunity or the obstacle is Athena saying to lovingly assert yourself. And there is the hawk rising above fear. But the hawk also represents signs and omens from above. So in the angel's advice, we have Merlina, which represents doing more research, and the risk card. Doing more research is rising above and asserting myself from an intuitive place, and then allowing that intuition to sit while spirit brings in experiences to then confirm it. For my cancers, I want to say that our feelings are often, and I want to say this for everybody, frankly, our feelings are often poo pooed. I once did a self help seminar, and the main thing is I don't care how you feel, just get it done. And that will manifest to a certain dynamic, but our feelings aligned to our bigger vision of ourselves and then taking our action will make things happen, and they'll make things happen in an effortless way. So for my cancers, I believe that this week offers transformation through this eclipse by trusting a deeper knowing and taking your actions based on that, and then having that confirmed by spirit as you move forward. Not meaning confirmed like immediately. It means because you're still standing in faith as you take a new direction. Okay, let's go on to our Geminis. It's so funny how things work out. I I have been feeling this muddiness from all this conjunction for quite some time, and I've been working on finding the neutral zone, which is where, I think I told you guys I color and I do word finder and things like that to help put my mind in a place that's neither forward or backward, but in somewhere just in the present. Because it's not easy when we're in fear to just move to that next happy step. So, if indeed anybody, cancer or otherwise, is finding themselves in that place where fear is gripping you this week, where you're feeling even more vulnerable, do your best to find something that puts you in a neutral zone, puts you in a place where you're neither fearful nor faithful, but just there. And that too will give spirit an opportunity to give you an experience to support a bigger knowing. Okay, Gemini, here we go. Okay, our first angel is Astera. The second is Archangel Uriel. The third is Chantal. And the final is Ariel. Well, there's new. That's all. Synchronicity is a powerful communicator of spirit. When you start seeing synchronicity, you're moving in the right direction. Block after block, obstacle after obstacle, you know that you're moving in the wrong direction. At least the wrong direction for your own truth. You're never moving in the wrong direction with spirit. Spirit's just saying, oh, it's just a contrasting experience. They'll figure it out. It's like watching a child learn to ride a bike. You got the training wheels on and you see them wobble a little bit. You don't run every time to go save them. They'll figure it. They'll find their balance. That's what spirit does for us. Okay, Gemini. Joining Astera is the hawk. Joining Archangel Uriel is the dragon. Joining Chantal is the owl. And joining Ariel is the birth and the rebirth card. Okay. Astera says to reach for the stars with your dreams and your desires and not to compromise. And then here is the hawk. I really don't think that this is about rising above your fears, Gemini. I think this is about looking for signs and omens now that Spirit has got your back. Because we have in the final position Ariel saying that psychic and new spiritual experiences are changing the way you view yourself and the world. And there's the birth and the rebirth card. That is what I believe that Pluto and Saturn are offering us. Pluto rules death and rebirth, the phoenix rising from the ashes. Here comes this eclipse, making us dig deep into our emotional body. Because I want to say for my Geminis, I think you've been frustrated and angry that you haven't been able to assert yourself the way you want to in your love life. Because the angels are here with Chantal and the owl. And I feel like there is a dynamic for my Geminis, especially the single Geminis, that have kind of put it aside, put the romance aside a little bit, saying, I'm just going to focus on other things. And I feel like it's not about focusing on other things. It's about delineating to Spirit what brings your heart joy in the way of relationships, and doing it with a strong intention. And then being able to trust, because the owl is about deception and wisdom. It's two sides of one coin. It's Gemini. It's being able to see things from multiple ways. So what you're doing, Spirit's asking you to look at your love life from multiple ways, and rather than being irritated with yourself, assert yourself to your deeper truth, but do it to Spirit first. Okay, so it looks like this. Some people do vision boards, and they'll put pictures and things of what they want in relation on the board. I feel like, as I say that, I want to, if you guys are doing vision boards, be really mindful of the pictures you put on your boards. Look at them. Make sure if you're doing couples and you want to make a board for love, that you're putting couples that are looking at each other. I once had a client who brought her board to me, and she had 10 pictures of couples and none of them were looking at each other. They were looking out to this here or there. There was nothing connecting them. So for my Geminis, I want to say, in your love life, to reach for the stars with what you want and not to compromise, and then watch Spirit start to lay the signs and the omens for you, because your frustration is only thwarting what it is you want. Don't be mad at yourself. The timing will be, sometimes we think, I'm ready, but what about the other person? The other person has their own journey. So as you stand faithfully, you're holding space for them to catch up with you. And that's what this is about here with Chantal. And then knowing that Spirit's hand is on the situation, and there is a rebirth being offered. Now, I say the same thing for those Geminis that are in relationships. I say that there's an opportunity for a fluffing of your relationship, to assert yourself in loving ways towards your partner or towards yourself. This week, again, is going to make people feel very emotional, raw in some ways, and vulnerable to, almost like a little kid wanting someone to come and make it better. And I think sometimes that can turn us into frustration and anger. So rather than going there, we say, just stay in that vulnerable place and then engage from there. Okay, let's go on to our Tauruses. I hope I'm making sense. Okay. All right, here we go. Taurus rising, Taurus moon, Taurus stelliums, and Taurus sun. New York Val, you've got Uranus transiting Taurus right now, and that might be just the thing to liberate you from 12 years of a hard road, and give you that independence and that ability to claim it. Uranus is going to go direct as well on the 12th, I believe it is. It's a pivotal week. Oh, the 12th is next Sunday, so we'll see. But think about these things. There's so many opportunities right now for that shedding of that old skin. And the focus of going back 12 years and saying, wow, look at that road. It's like trying to drive your car forward through the rear view mirror. You only need to look back those 12 years in as much as it helps you to maneuver out of your parking spot and move forward. Okay. So, and our first angel for Taurus is Oceana. The second is Azure. The third is Rosetta. And the final is Merlina. Okay. Thank you, Shawnee. Okay, here we go. Oceana is being joined by the Wasp. Azure is being joined by the Bee. The Lady of the Lake is being joined by Rosetta. And Merlina is being joined by the Baird. Okay, Taurus. Whew. That's kind of funny because we were just talking about, here we are with this Taurus. Who was it? I scrolled by. New York Val, Taurus, 12 years. Okay, so this is for you, baby. Oceana is asking you to lovingly assert yourself towards what you want, because the Wasp is saying, if you're pissed off, frankly, if you're angry, if you're sitting back in that old zone, it's just gonna throw you off. Because I'm gonna go to the final position. Here is Merlina and the history card known as the Baird. This is an opportunity to allow your anger and frustration to say, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with that 12 years. I'm done with that road. I'm ready to start new, because in your opportunity and or your obstacle is Azure saying your desired outcome will happen in the very near future. Have faith. Focus on that. And then here is the B. The B card is, what is my being energy? It's also a card of victory. So as I look and, okay, I've been pissed off, but now I'm going to use that energy to launch myself forward to what I really, really want. And Oceana, look at her. She is heading up towards the light. She's still swimming through being underwater, but this time she can start to see where she's going. And now it's time to let that anger fuel you. I'm not taking any prisoners. That's what I want to say. Because again, here is your opportunity, but it's going to be up to your being energy. Because if you lose yourself in being pissed off, then that's where your focus is. And if your focus is there, then you're going to notice all the things that still aren't working. Because in the angel's advice is Rosetta. And yes, she talks about working with children, but this is a childlike innocence. And here is the Lady of the Lake holding Excalibur. This is about the courage to see the truth. And I want to offer it this way for Taurus, because I'm a Taurus moon. And when I look at things that piss me off, I could get very, very angry at the way some people have treated me. And when I actually look at those people's character on their best day, they weren't aligned to me. And if I go there to my deeper truth, then I can really start to focus in on what it is that I want and let my history be where it is. Serve me as a launching pad so I don't go down that road again. I feel like for Taurus, I'm a Taurus moon. I can be super, super stubborn when my feelings are hurt, especially if somebody apologizes sheepishly, like, sorry, oh, well, you'll get over it. And then I'm just like, it doesn't go away for me. So if I focus on that, then it seems like I'm almost going to continue to create more momentum that way. I feel like it's more about, okay, this is what I really want to experience. Everything that's come before wasn't right on. So there's no need to be mad about it anymore. All I need to do is really align with my deeper truth, the Lady of the Lake, have the faith of a child, have the innocence, have the trust of a child, and then let my Merlina is research and let my history teach me. So when I start to smell something that feels familiar that I don't like, I don't continue moving forward with it. I step back, I take a pause, and I wait for spirit to inspire me into a guided action. All right, on to our final sign, Aries. That's me, Aries rising. Here we go. And I really want to say for those out there, for my Aries and Aries moon, sun, stelliums, I really love David Cochran's take on Aries. Lots of people will just think of Aries as being blunt, sort of I think of it as the Knight of Swords, racing through with his sword, ready to go like this. But David Cochran's view is that that Aries is the truth seeker. It smells BS underneath everything. So when Aries endeavors something and it's not aligned to a deeper truth, Aries is willing to say, hey, 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 what's that all about? And to me, I like that. I wouldn't trade that for anything. And I think that also is part of what this dynamic between Pluto and Saturn being exact now, and then this eclipse. It's a deeper truth of our emotional body. And as we stand in that truth, then Spirit has an opportunity to open that truth up into the physical and make it what we think is solid in our reality. Okay, Aries. First angel is Chantal. The second is Serena. The third is Sonia. And the final is Daniel. Oh, wow. There's partnerships all over the place. Yes, banking is going to change very much so, guys. The way money is yeah. It's all shifting again. Okay. Aries, this is all, looks like it's about romance. Let's see. Looks about our intimate bodies. Oh, Manuela. I love the Lady of the Lake is the name of the church. That's awesome. Remember, she stands for truth and justice in our emotional bodies. Oh, Chantal is being joined by the movement card, Aries. Serena's being joined by the restriction card. Sonia's being joined by the spider. And Daniel's being joined by the novice. Okay. All right. I want to put it this way. Wow. Okay. Chantal is the angel of romance. It's the angel of a resurgence of romance in a relationship or bringing in a new person. And then here is the movement card. I think I've told y'all I'm 60 years old. I've never been married. And I've been telling Spirit I'm ready for a partnership. I want someone to go to dinner with and someone to go to the movies with and someone to talk about my day with. And here is the opportunity for Aries. There is movement in your love life. And I want to say this because in the opportunity obstacle is Serena, which is the card of abundance, and the restriction card. I thought, well, isn't that silly? These are counterintuitive, but I don't think so. I think God is in charge of how it will happen, and Aries isn't supposed to charge forward now. Aries is supposed to sit back and let God and the angels be in charge of creating the connection. Because in the angel's advice is Sonia, which we'll talk about a deceased loved one being safe on heaven and earth. And I do believe that, but it's also about the angelic realm. It's also about the spirit and spirit making the connection. Earlier, I mentioned that for me, the spider is a relationship card. The fly and the spider are in cooperative relation when the fly gets in the web. So for me, spirit is in charge of bringing in the relationship. And what my job as an Aries rising sun, moon, and stellium is to see where my history, what Daniel offers me, my perceptions may be getting in the way and stopping me. And then there's the novice, unstable new beginning, skill without practice. So let me give you an example. I'm an intuitive. I spend my days doing intuitive work. I spend a lot of time meditating. And when I have thought about relationships, and as I was growing and going through my life journey, I would think, who could ever deal with someone like me? And my boyfriends, honestly, couldn't stand my feelings. I'd be like, I feel this. And so I have a little story. About how I will be received in a relationship. I get to rewrite that story. I get to rewrite the story because as I rewrite the story in my own mind's eye, Spirit has an opportunity to open up that new story. So here I've been on Lada's channel for about a year, and I've had more interaction with more people that are of like-mindedness. So this gives me an opportunity to shift my way of thinking. I believe Spirit is asking Aries to use this eclipse to allow for movement in their love life. And the movement isn't always physical movement. It is spiritual and emotional movement. This is a Cancer, um, Cancer eclipse on a Scorpio degree. The Scorpio degree offers transformation. So as you turn over to spirit, the bigger picture of what you want, and sit not in restriction like this, but to sit in, oh, okay, I know spirit's going to have to bring. So all the movement that I would normally take as an Aries isn't going to get me anywhere. So I don't want to push ahead. I, as an Aries, get to practice receiving. And that's what spirit is going to do through Sonia, through the spider, through Daniel, and this new opportunity to walk a new path with some skill in relation, and then to learn new skill. And the new skill would be in receiving. Okay, that's it for today. This has been exciting. Our first broadcast in 2020, a whole new decade. I'm really excited about the idea that it's a 4-year, that we have an opportunity to shed more of an old skin and give life to new and stronger foundations of what we want to experience on the planet. And as a collective, when we meet together, we send an incredibly powerful beam up to spirit. Just being here today live in the chat, spirit can feel our deeper truths, can feel our yearning for bigger experiences, and we are inadvertently sending a strong intention that spirit now will say, okay, I'd be happy to start to fill in those things for you. So this week during your eclipse, be gentle with yourself. Try to avoid people or situations or dynamics that poke the bear. If you've got to go to work and be with that person, do your best to be as patient and as calm with yourself as you're irritated or otherwise. And then we'll be on the flip side of it next week, and we'll see Uranus turning direct and see what Uranus is going to liberate us from, and what freedoms it's going to bring us, and what opportunities to feel new life and electricity within ourselves. So I want to thank you all for joining me today. Again, my name is Teri Hunter. I'm an angel therapy practitioner, Reiki master, intuitive guide, and empowerment coach. And if you'd like to get a reading with me, the information is below. Or it will be in a little bit. We have to let the video process. So, all right, guys, thank you so very much. I enjoyed this. Have a wonderful week. I'll be back next Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific. And remember to put in your numbers for to win a free reading. And Frosty21, I'll hear from you soon. Namaste, everybody. Have a great week. Blessings.